All right. Let's talk about our poster assignment. We need to get our logo and make a poster. Let's look at some good and bad posters. So what makes a good and bad poster? All right. I think one of the most important things is using the space correctly. All right, here is a poster. It's a good effort, but this person's got all this empty space up here. Their logo is crammed up in this bottom corner, and their text is up there. Your logo is the most interesting thing on your poster, so it should be the biggest and the most in your face. Yeah. Then you think about your imagery and whether or not your imagery is detracting from the poster. I think there's a good example. It's a good example on this one. I don't think this person really thought about what they were doing. Can you even see the logo on that one?
Yeah. Speedy sausage.
It's not very noticeable, is it? But look at the one just below it.
Speedy sausage.
So if you look at the one just below it, the logo is really big. The text is nice and large. The name of the hero is nice and large. The heading is pretty good as well. And the background picture doesn't detract from the logo. The text is nice and readable, legible. Alright, so that one's pretty good. The lighting could be a little bit better, but not bad. I think the logo could have been a bit larger. Pretty good. The logo probably could have been twisted around a little bit. So the logo here really could have been put on a different angle because it's very difficult to read, but it's not bad. This one, way too small, right? That logo is way too small on the page. So let's look at some of these examples. All right, nice and large. The text is readable. Nice and large. I think the logo is good. The text is a little difficult to read because it's pink on pink. That's not good. You want text that stands out. So here, that's a really good example, isn't it? Text is really legible. Image is nice and centered. Background image doesn't detract, but it suits the design. So that's a good poster. Alright, trip is pretty good. Crazy llama lady. Pretty intricate design, that's good. Not bad. Okay, and pretty good. So, we're going to quickly make a poster in Photoshop. We're going to use a guinea pig in this class. Who wants me to use their rendered image? Alright, let's go Josh. Is Josh here today?
No.
Okay, that means he can't criticize us as we make it. Alright, so I'm going to save my picture. And then I go to Photoshop. And I open my template. So I'll show you where to get the template in a little bit. So I've got an A4 page there. The resolution of the page is 150 dots per inch. What does resolution mean?
Quality.
Yeah, the higher the resolution means better quality. But do you know what resolution is? Why? What's a 4K television? Yeah. So if you measure diagonally across the screen, it's got 4,000 pixels. So pixels, those little dots, is what this program uses. Okay? The documents are measured in physical size, as in how big the sheet is, and it's also measured in resolution. So you should try to, 150 is really the minimum resolution you should be working in. If you go above that, it's okay, but the higher the resolution, the more and more your computer will start to run slow. Yeah?
I'm going to make it 1 trillion then.
So the higher the resolution, the better the quality, but it causes your computer to crash sometimes. Okay, so 150 is typically what you should use. 150 or 300. Alright, so Josh's character is called Portal. What sort of background image would suit the character called Portal?
A door.
A portal? Georgia, what do you think?
Sort of like a vacuum space.
A vacuum in space?
A door.
Alright, let's go space. Shh.
Some sci-fi.
Alright, listening, Xavier, close your computer. Okay, I'm going to type space. I'm going to search images. Here are 2 tips. Once you Google a type of picture, if you type photography at the end, you typically get better images because they've got better lighting and things like that. So if you type photography at the end, you tend to get better images.
It's a high resolution section.
Yep. And Fergus is right. You've got high resolution and low resolution images. If you look at if you select a picture, there's a number here. That number is the pixels that are in it. So this one is 2,000 pixels wide and 1,200. That's a pretty good size. This one, 2,000 by 1,000. Normally you get really small pictures when you Google things. But I think space photography, alright, see that one's not a good example. 800 by 1,200. So at that size, it's going to start to be blurry. This one, I don't know why that's there. It's pretty big. All these ones are pretty big, and you normally get much worse examples. But there's another tip, okay? Google your background, put photography at the end, you get better images. And if you click Tools, Size, Large, then you'll get really high, nice resolution pictures. Right, I'm going to click this background image. How do I save this? Actually, it's too small. Let's choose this one. It's too small again. This one. That's really big. That's really big. Okay, we'll go this. Here's my picture. How do I save it? Yeah, right click or double tap, save image as, and then just save it to wherever you want to use it. Okay, now I'm looking at Photoshop. Who remembers how to put pictures in here?
Insert.
File. Place embedded. File, place embedded. You might notice that it's not filling up the page. Just drag it out. Click Return on the keyboard. Alright, beautiful. What will I do next?
Insert the rendered image.
Yeah, insert the rendered image. File, place embedded. So the same thing. I think that's in downloads. Okay, remember I want to make it nice and large, so I'm going to drag it out. And what do I do to get rid of these crosses? This cross.
Return.
Yeah, press return on the keyboard. Alrighty. What do I need to add? Text. So in Photoshop, you've got a little T symbol that looks like this. That T symbol lets you type that thing E. Right? Lets you type whatever you want to type. Okay? It works just like a word processor, where you select your text, where you click somewhere and you type. You put the cursor somewhere and type. You can also highlight your text, and you can go back and change your font size like you would in Word. And if you come down here, these are your colors. You've got 2 colors. The color that's on top is the color you're going to select, you're going to be using. So you can change your color like that. Alright, so here's the thing with fonts that are on your computer. Typically, they're kind of boring. Yeah, they're the default fonts on your computer. So they're things like Arial, Times New Roman, Comic Sans. They're fine fonts, but in graphic design, you want to be a little more creative. So you can find this website, dafont.com. Dafont has lots of free fonts. They're arranged in themes. So just say I want to find a horror theme. I can click on horror, and I've got all these fonts that look like they're from horror movies. There's even a comic book one. Because we're doing superheroes, comic books might be useful. But Josh's character is called Portal, so let's click sci-fi. Okay, and if I type Portal here, I can click in the little preview, I type the word I want to see, and my character, I get to see what my font will look like. So what is a cool font we could use? Here's the name, yeah? The name's above it. How about Blade Runner? Blade Runner. Alright, so you just tap download. You wait for it to download. Open it up. Double tap, and then your font will end in TTF. Install font. Okay, now when you go back to Photoshop, if you select the text, you can find your font, and you've got that font on your computer. Doesn't have an R. What the? What a terrible font. Alright, we're going to use Space Ranger. I've already got Space Ranger.
Hope Blade Runner.
This tiny pinky.
Alright, that's slightly better, isn't it?
Oh my god.
Alright, so we make our text large and legible. What does legible mean? Who wants to see a trick that will make your...
Me!
Alright, so here's the layer. Here's my layer. Okay? Layers are different images. The different images in Photoshop are put in layers. If I duplicate this layer, so I've got two copies of the exact same font in the exact same color. If I choose to change the color of one of the fonts to, let's go, green, I can make a 3D effect by moving the top layer. Alright, how does that look? Pretty cool? Alright, and what is the final thing?
Save.
No, what's the final thing to put on the poster?
Catchphrase.
A catchphrase.
Catchphrase.
What would be a good catchphrase for this character?
Every 5 seconds.
What's a good slogan for Portal the superhero?
Yeah, now. Very good. Yeah.
One end to the other.
Amazing.
That sounds good.
One end to the other.
Oh my god.
I know.
Hey,
Hill.
shut
Hey.
Oh, phew. I thought, oh, okay.
Oh, get them.
That does look like something else.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay, shh. Alright, everyone, listening.
Make it big.
Max.
Yes.
Okay, and the...
Well, I can see see from here.
And the final thing you do is you've got to save it as a picture format. It needs to be saved in a picture format. So you go File, Save As, and you change the file format to JPEG. Okay, is that good?
Oh yeah.
Poster thingy. Okay, make sure it says JPG at the ends and save. Okay, who is ready to make their poster?
My
Excellent, let's get cracking.
rendered image isn't invisible, even though I.
Fun fact, I was 2 to 2